and welcome back to my channel with Love Savannah. I'm Savannah, and today we're going to be talking about a very important and very simple but also very difficult topic, which is hydration. Now, I'm not here to convince you of why you need to drink more water. I think we all know that water is not only critical to our bodies but also just helps with a lot of the normal everyday things that we may experience. So water helps with fatigue, your skin, headaches, your digestion, all of that jazz. Like, it has a multitude of benefits for drinking more water, but it's not a passive activity. And that's something that I always say when I talk about water is I personally love water. I always have. I've always been a water drinker. I know some people don't as much. We'll get into that and we'll touch on that as well. But even though I love water, it's not a passive activity. I personally have days where I will drink a ton of water on my own. And then I have days, it'll be a couple days in a row, where I barely drink any. And I don't think that's good for my body either, loading up and then not having any. I think, a good consistent amount of water is the best way to go. So without further ado, let's dive into my tips. I have separated this into 5 of my top tips, and I hope they help, so let's get started. So the first step is to pick the right bottle. Now, hear me out on this. This is actually way more important than you would think. There are tons of different ones on the market, and there's a reason for that. It's because different people have different preferences. So the first thing that we'll dive into is whether you want like a straw versus a chug lid. So a straw would be something more like this, or you can get more of like an actual, just like a straw that goes in, or like a chug lid, which would be more like this, where it's just kind of like open for your mouth. And this is another way you could put a straw in. This is an important distinction because if you're drinking out of a bottle that you don't really like, you're not going to drink as much. As a general rule of thumb, if you're not really sure, I would say that the majority of people like straws better and tend to drink more out of a straw. And I think the reason for that is it's more of a passive activity to, if you're sitting at a desk or whatever, to sit and sip rather than actually lift the bottle up to your mouth. Simple things like that, but this is the kind of stuff that goes on in the back of our minds and we don't even think about. So if you're not sure, I would try a straw, but just really think about what you like personally. The other thing that's really important on this topic of what kind of bottle is the material that the bottle's made out of. So I have bottles like this that are made out of that like sort of like plasticky material, and I will say that these are nice because they're lightweight, but these also have a lot of condensation on them. So that's important to think about if you have a lot of like wooden surfaces or you're throwing your bottle all over the place or things like that. Do you want that condensation? Do you care about it? Do you not? Along that same note, which is like picking the bottle that's right for your environment, is I wanted to talk to you about steel bottles. So like these like vacuum insulated bottles like this one. And the reason that this is important is because I live in a very hot climate. So I live in Charlotte. So when it's summertime, it is summertime. It's very hot. And if I were to have a bottle like this outside, my water goal wouldn't happen because this would be hot and very gross to drink a couple minutes in. So what I like, and I'm bringing this up because it's springtime, so it's getting into the summer, is keeping this in mind. If you're outside and you're like laying out, like you're tanning or you're at the beach or you're just going shopping and you're wanting to leave your water bottle in the car, I've really found that these steel water bottles help me a lot with my goals during those times. You can keep ice in these bottles and it'll stay all day. In the summer heat, it really does. So that's another factor to consider that really helps. My second tip, which I would say is arguably the most important, is after you pick the right bottle, you need to keep the same bottle. So the key with this is knowing how much you want to drink, so what's your goal, and then how many times it takes you to fill up that particular bottle. This makes a lot bigger of a difference than you would think. When I'm switching between bottles, I find that I'm not drinking the right amount because it just takes more calculation in my brain for something that, like water, shouldn't take a lot of calculation. And what I mean by that is, say I want to drink 60 ounces a day. If I have a water bottle that is 20 ounces, I know I need to fill that up 3 times a day. That's very important because if my goal is very important to me, I have 20 ounces, I know drink, fill up in the morning, drink the whole thing, fill it up again, and then I'm done. If you are switching back and forth between bottles, certain bottles, it's very difficult to tell how many ounces are in the bottle. So I've had issues where I don't even know how many times I should drink it, which means I'm probably not drinking enough. And when I find that drinking water is too complicated, I just don't do it. So I'm gonna share with you the 2 best methods that I have found to work the absolute best. The first method is having a smart water bottle. So I've pulled these out already. There is a brand, this is unsponsored, but there's a brand called Hydrate Spark, and they create smart water bottles. And I've been using these since my wedding, since before my wedding, so almost 2 years now, and they are so nice. So this is like one of their beginning models. This is the one I started out with. This is not a steel water bottle. So I really like this one, but I ended up upgrading to this one when they came out with it because it's steel and it holds ice. So you can't have ice in this one, you can have ice in this one. That's beside the point. Look on their website, they're really nice. But essentially what these do is they are smart water bottles. So in the bottom of this one in particular, there's a little puck, and it is chargeable, and so it tracks your water for you. So if you fill up your water bottle, you don't even have to drink it the whole way down and like keep track of it yourself. You can drink it to here, fill it up again, drink it to here, fill it up again. And it calculates your water for you via a very nice and easy to use app. The other thing that this bottle does that's really nice is it has reminders. So this one in particular down here will glow. You can set the color you want it to glow. You can set the amount you want it to glow. So you can say 8 times a day, or don't glow between these times if you don't want it to glow while you're in the office, or whatever. You can set those things. Don't glow at bedtime, but it is really nice. The other thing that's super nice about this bottle and the app is it helps you personalize your water goal. So when you set up your account, it'll ask you things like your gender, your age, how active you are, and things like that. So your height, your weight, and it'll calculate for you how much water you should have, sort of as a baseline. And then what I think is really cool is that each day it can track with other things and it'll know like how active you are. So on a day where you are running all around, you're working outside, you're going on a run, you're really active, you need more water than on days when you are constantly sitting. So it helps personalize that goal for you, and it'll request that you drink more water at certain times. And the nice thing about that is it will alert you, so you'll know. It'll tell you when to drink. Again, you can turn that feature off, but I think it's really nice. My second method that I'm more recently testing out, but I have been wondering about for a really long time, is to pick a bottle that you only have to fill up once. So here she is for me. This is a half-gallon water bottle, so that's 64 ounces that I bought at Target. This bottle is only $5, and I literally just bought it a couple days ago. So if you're interested, I will link it in the description box below. I'll also link the Hydrate bottles. But I will say this straw isn't very good. They do have a different like lid you can put on, like it's a chug lid, and then you can get a straw for it. But this doesn't work very well. I've still been using it and I like the bottle. I don't recommend the straw situation. So just want to say that there's other ones you can get. So in the morning, I will fill up my bottle and I just let it go the rest of the day. Now, if it gets warm or anything like that, like I will throw some ice cubes in, that's no big deal. But I try to keep the same bottle. That way I know whatever time in the day it is, if it's like late in the day, if it's 5 o'clock and I still have this much left, then I know I need to drink more. So it keeps you kind of accountable in that way, like your brain doesn't have to think, but it just sees. So this bottle also, I don't know if you can see, it has those times, which I think is nice. So it has 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. I don't personally say, oh, by 9 a.m. I have to drink down to here. That doesn't really work for me. So again, it's doing what works for you. But I do know that it helps me because I do realize, hey, if I should be down here and I'm up here, then I need to drink more. For me personally, my day doesn't always go 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. If I stay up later, I do like to drink a lot of water at night. So that's just, again, something to consider. But it's the fact that I don't have to think, oh, I need this many more bottles. It's the same thing as the water bottle that tracks. It's the same idea, that it just makes it automatic. It makes it simple for you to just know where you're at and how much water you have left to drink. My third tip is a quick one. It is keep the water bottle with you. This is so important. If you don't have a water bottle out and with you throughout the day, you're so much less likely to drink water. Fill your water bottle up in the morning and keep it beside you, whether you're working at a desk, whatever you're doing, keep it beside you, because I promise you, you will drink more if it is sitting beside you. You may not feel that urgent, like I am so thirsty, I need to drink water, and you may get really caught up in your tasks, which will cause you to have a whole entire day go by and you not realize you didn't drink anything. So having it with you, your subconscious will sip on it just because it's there. And that's why straws are really nice too. You just kind of sip on it. So if you're at home, carry it with you throughout the rooms. If you go somewhere, put it in the car. If I go to my post office, it's 5 minutes away and I literally will take my water bottle. It's just simple things like that that really make a difference. Those little sips really do add up and it helps you get to your goal. Step number 4 is to know how you like to drink water and to set yourself up for success. So I think this tip truly applies even if you're someone that just likes water naturally. And here's what I mean. Are you someone that likes ice in your water? If so, put it in. If no, keep it out. Do you like room temperature water? Do you like cold water? Do you like tap water? Do you like filtered water? If you're a water drinker, you definitely know that different kinds of water has different flavors. So for me, like aquamarine tastes kind of like bleachy and chlorine versus like a Deer Park is very like mineral spring. So it's important to know what taste you like because you'll be much more inclined to drink that kind of water. The next is flavor. Do you like flavor in your water? Different ways you can do this, or you can get bottles that actually have like a little stick inside of it and you can infuse your water. So you can put all different kinds of fruit in there and it'll actually go throughout the bottle. Or you could be more simple. If you just like lemon, you can throw some lemon in there, you can throw some cucumber, some mint leaves, and that'll give your water a little bit of essence. You can also do things like little flavorings. I personally don't like the ones that have artificial flavor, so I try to stay away from those, but I do like things like electrolyte powders. So lately I've been drinking Liquid IV. I think this is really good. I'm drinking the tangerine kind because this is immune support as well, so I just think that that's always really nice to have that little bit of extra in there. If you don't like the taste of water, something like this is really good. The Hydra brand also has electrolyte powder that I've tried before, and that's really good. So really the key is to knowing like what you want out of your water experience, and that can vary day to day. Usually I'll just drink normal water, but on the days where I'm not wanting to drink water, I will do something like throw in something tasty like the Liquid IV, and that'll really help. On the same note, really quick, are the flavored sparkling water, so things like LaCroix, bubbly, etc. I don't condone drinking your 64 ounce or whatever your water goal is of those. I think that's kind of gross and probably would hurt your stomach. But I have looked it up before when I was really serious about my water goal, and Google did tell me that it is still hydrating because it is water. If you want to just supplement it with a LaCroix on a day where you're not feeling like drinking water, I definitely think that's okay to do. My 5th and final tip is a super short one. It is start first thing in the morning. And you've probably heard me say this a lot throughout the video, so this shouldn't come as a surprise to you, but as soon as you wake up, get your bottle. Go fill your bottle. Even if you had it from the night before, dump it out, get yourself some nice fresh water, and start right away. Carry it with you, sip it throughout the day. Starting first thing in the morning ensures that you have that hydration throughout the day. You don't get sucked into a different task and then you just forget about it. So I hope some of these water tips were helpful for all of you. I hope that you learned something new or just like spark something old in your memory, and that you get yourself hydrated because you definitely will feel better. Thank you all for tuning into my channel. I love you so much. It would mean the world to me if you would stick around and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every week, and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it and found it helpful. I love you all. See you in the next one. Bye.